Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we're here on yet another Monday night with the Monday Night Raw review. Got Nick with the what's going on, Nick?
What is going on, folks? Welcome to the Monday Night Raw review for September 10th, 2018. Monday Night Football kicked off tonight.
Ooh, I could see that.
Raiders playing right now. I'm missing the Raider game for this, but glad. Looking at the chat, we have Savage Elbow, Luke Fuller, Gordon Eugene Beast Boys, Andrew McKenna, Diana Argonaut, always yelling when she gets into the chat room.
Yikes.
Turn my gain up a little bit.
Oh, you're good.
Quiet. Say awkward silence. Touch that though.
Oh, no, you were muted. My
Are you
bad.
fucking kidding me?
My bad, guys.
I was muted the whole time.
Yes, sir. My bad.
I'm done. I'm out.
All right.
I'm out. I quit.
Bye.
That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving.
I take responsibility for
Goodbye.
that one. I accidentally had Nick muted. We lost him. It's all good.
Hate all of you.
I look over and I'm like, hello? Oh, no, you're just gone. Anyways, Nick, what's going on?
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the blah blah blah. You know my intro that I always do.
That you already did.
This show is stupid. Let's just start. Let's just start the show.
All right.
What was that?
Oh fuck.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, what the heck was that? Anyways. All right. So Monday Night Raw kicks off. And we learned earlier in the day that Renee Young is now full-time on the announce desk. She will now be the third
Thank
person on commentary, replacing Jonathan Coachman. And a lot of people were happy about that, including Nick.
Thank God. Just thank God.
And so Monday Night Raw kicked off, and we had, I guess they're now called the Dogs of War.
The Dogs of War.
Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. They aired some vignettes on basically the things that they've done to the Shield over the last couple of weeks. And they come back, and Strowman's like, Roman Reigns, you've got your Hounds of Justice. Well, I've got my Dogs of War.
The Man of Hate. With no cause, we don't discriminate. It's a Pink Floyd song.
I was like, well, what? Dogs of War? What kind of crap is that?
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a name that's just like, I guess because you got the Hounds of Justice and then the Dogs of War, I guess.
At least he didn't say they were his squad again.
Yeah, that was bad. Continuing on here.
As they're down there talking in the ring, they had all, I guess you could say, their goons, if you want to call them that, around ringside. Guys like Elias, Kevin Owens, Jinder Mahal, Sunil Singh, Authors of Pain, Ascension, Drew Gulak, Mojo Rawley, Mike Kanellis.
Oh, Canellis. I'm glad you're onto something.
At one point, McIntyre said that the balance of power has shifted. They were in control and would set an example when they dismantle the B team tonight in their rematch from last week. Shield then interrupted, entering through the crowd. Dean Ambrose ran down and started the attack. Seth Rollins then dove onto a group of guys. Ambrose grabbed a duffel bag full of what looked like axe handles.
What a weird... What a weird thing to use.
It looked like literally... Well, no, never mind. So they took the axe handles and they were beating everybody down with them until finally the Shield stood tall in the ring, and Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre watched from the ramp. The Shield did not go away for some reason, and then we go to commercial. Come back, and they showed a video from earlier in the day where Brie and Nikki were going into their private dressing room that really looked more like a janitor's closet type deal that was emptied out.
Seriously.
And apparently the Riot Squad came in and trashed it.
You know, I'll talk about it when we get to the match.
So after the commercial break, the Shield are shouting backstage. There's a bunch of police officers and Baron acting general manager Baron Corbin. Corey Graves actually did that tonight. He was like, and our acting general manager Baron Corbin, and then he just went back on with his normal voice.
Yeah, it is weird.
He's like, gotta emphasize. He's like, tonight was big for the acting general manager Baron Corbin, as he made some like, jeez. So he's yelling at the Shield, telling them that they shouldn't be out there attacking people with weapons and that they had the police here to arrest them yet again. He told them that they better leave and drop their weapons or they would be arrested. And if they were arrested, Rollins and Reigns would both lose their titles. And yes, Seth Rollins is still the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's IC champion.
So with that,
there would be reasons why you wouldn't know, as in he hasn't worn the belt at all, hasn't brought it out with him, hasn't been mentioned, hasn't defended it, hasn't done anything with it. It's just been sitting there.
Slightly turning
and
the game down.
if they win these tag titles, which I don't think they will, I would be really upset to know that they're doing nothing with that IC title. Honestly.
So he just tells them leave now or you get arrested, I guess. So they walked off. They each dropped their axe handle on the ground. And there we go.
Game
so
better
then,
now?
Yeah.
Cool.
So then, we got Nikki Bella with Brie Bella against Ruby Riott with Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. Match went almost 10 minutes.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, there were kids in the crowd chanting, "Let's go, Nikki." Many people actually, females, had Nikki Bella signs. Nikki at one point made a comeback after hitting a spine buster, clothesline, and a disaster kick out of the corner. Straight to the face
Cody.
of Ruby Riott.
Hi, Cody. How you doing?
Sarah Logan then distracted Nikki Bella, which allowed Ruby Riott to hit a downward spiral for a near fall. Liv Morgan then jumped into the ring, but she was stopped by Brie Bella. Brie Bella pulled her out of the ring. Nikki then set up Ruby for the Rack Attack 2.0, hit it, pinned her, got the victory. Nikki Bella goes over Ruby Riott.
I don't like that, man.
No?
I don't like it. I mean, just Ruby's one of the top in the women's division. She's probably the best on Raw. She is the best. She's the best women's wrestler on Raw.
I can see that.
They're having her just lose, and it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like the Riot Squad's just these little punk kids that always get theirs or whatever you want to say.
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Me either.
A lot of this is just like it's very lopsided and like the Bellas have to win. Where are they going with this whole Bellas are back? Like
it's eventually gonna lead. They're gonna team with Ronda at Super Showdown to take on the Riot Squad, and I think it's gonna lead to Nikki turning on Ronda and getting a title match or some sort of match at Evolution.
Yes.
Because Nikki's always, she didn't do it this week, but the last 2, maybe even 3 weeks, she's been kissing up to Ronda Rousey. And that's the other thing I gotta say. I'm surprised how often we actually get Ronda on Raw. Way more than I ever expected.
Yeah, we're getting around a good amount, and I really like it.
I think she does at least 3 times a month. She maybe skips out on 1 a month.
Yeah, just about 1.
So
Not bad.
I have to.
Trayvon Womack, yes, miles better than Ember. Ember's not that good.
Now, I have
Ember has only had good matches against people that have carried her to good matches. That's a fact. That is
True.
a fact.
I mean, she's good, but
She's okay, but all the matches that you're thinking of, stuff with like Asuka and stuff, it's all because the other person is carried. That's just a fact.
right.
Ruby Riott can hold her own. She's one of the only ones that can hold her own. But we're not here to gripe on that. We're going to talk more about Raw.
So I gotta choose my words, I guess, correctly here.
Why?
Because this is that. So we come back from a commercial, and Big Show is standing on the stage with kids from the Connor Cure initiative.
Yep.
So they play this big old long video package from this year's WrestleMania Access, where they announced a bunch of kids. And I mean, it's great that they're doing this. I'm not knocking it or anything.
Very sweet.
So they air this big old video package of these kids coming out and being in the ring with Stephanie McMahon at Access, and they all got their own different characters and whatnot. And then Big Show's on the stage with them and their families, and he's introducing them, and you obviously can tell the Big Show was not ready for this, because he's reading the names off and he's kind of stumbling through it, and it was just the crowd. They were into it because they knew they should cheer.
Yeah,
But you can tell it was like they popped when they knew they should pop. It wasn't like a we really love this segment type of thing. And that was kind of a theme on Raw tonight. It was, we don't have enough stuff to fill 3 hours. Let's add some stuff to the 3 hours.
And that happens sometimes, man.
So, I mean, for what this segment was, it was all right. Big Show announced all the different kids. They each got a little pop from the crowd. He said they're all from Louisiana, which they were in New Orleans tonight. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would.
It was just.
I don't know if I would have done it as long as they did it, because they didn't need to air the video package that they aired and then announce all the kids as well. It just seemed to drag on a little too long. It just got awkward by the end.
Yeah, it was out there.
So then, another video package aired, recapping last week's encounter between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. We then go backstage where Drake Maverick is hyping up AOP. Think about this. They are AOP. I don't remember the last time they said Authors of Pain.
Well, I'm pretty sure their new name is AOP.
AOP op. AOP.
Isn't that like the best gun in Counter-Strike? No, it's the op. That's the AWP.
I wouldn't know.
It's my video game knowledge at work. Ladies, hit me up. I'm depressed. Come on here.
All right, so they come out AOP with Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick is not wearing a flat jacket this week. He's just wearing a medium.
Oh, he changed up his look, folks. Let's write an article.
He's just wearing some cargo shorts and a medium tank top.
That's the funniest thing Enzo's ever said.
What?
He looked at Cedric Alexander. What size shirt is that? A medium? Love it. Let's continue on here.
So they come out and they beat two jobbers. Renee Young said at one point, "Do I have to watch this?" And Michael Cole says, "Yeah, you do, Renee."
Yeah, that's rough, man.
So the jobbers' names were Nathan Bradley and Ronnie Ace. I don't know what the Nathan Bradley is supposed to be, but can you guess what Ronnie Ace is a parody of?
The Dynamic Dudes! Johnny Ace.
Sir. Was Nathan Bradley fit with the other names? I honestly always forget who was with Johnny Ace.
Let me look. Check it out.
Basically, they killed these guys in a minute and a half with a super collider. There you go. Then
it was Shane Douglas and Johnny Ace.
What was he, Shane Douglas?
Shane Douglas? Wow. Poor Shane Douglas.
So then, in another way that they needed to fill 3 hours with non-Raw content,
yeah,
the Raw announce team plugged the Hell in a Cell match between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton from SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, I understand having to plug shit from time to time.
I mean, I get the way they've done it in the past where you air the inset promo during a match. But no, they took a good 2 to 3 minutes to air a video package and plug a match from the SmackDown brand. I mean, we're all one happy, warm, loving family, but okay. Survivor Series is going to come and you're all going to hate each other again.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So then Triple H comes out. Well, first, Triple H is shown getting out of a limo, and the crowd pop.
Yeah, the crowd popped hard. Tim's got to take care of something real quick. I don't know who I'm doing that to, Joshua. Tim had to mute himself real quick. He had a little bit of an emergency. I forgot where he left out on, to be honest with you. I'm going to take a look at chat before he comes back here. People saying Douglas. Which is better, Super Collider or the last chapter? Super Collider, because it looks really, really badass.
All right, sorry about that, guys.
Thank God, I didn't know. I forgot where you left off.
No, I said Triple H is shown getting out of a limo, and the crowd erupted when they showed that. Like, wow, Triple H is a huge pop. So, go to commercial, come back, and Triple H comes out. And he talked about The Undertaker and Super Showdown. And he stated that The Undertaker's afraid of him. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have shown up last week when Shawn was there. He would have shown up when he knew Triple H was going to be there. Well, isn't Triple H there every week?
In theory, yes.
So then, Triple H is like, we've got all these legends coming out of the woodwork to talk about who they think are going to win. And then we have this poll. And on the screen, it's, who do you think will win at Super Showdown? Triple H or The Undertaker? Undertaker gets 81% of the poll.
That's so much percentage, dude.
Triple H stated that at this point in your career, it's stuff like that doesn't bother you. He then said that Michaels picking him to win bothered Taker. Triple H wondered if Taker had lost respect for him and Shawn Michaels. He said that, yes, I may have lost at WrestleMania in our battles, but this is different. You, after our grueling battles at WrestleMania, lost what made you special, and we've seen that over the last couple of years. And Triple H then said that at Super Showdown, he's going to be there to take down The Undertaker.
No, this may be an unpopular opinion, and I guess I'm known for having some pretty gosh darn unpopular opinions. But if they're gonna do this match, this needs to be the last Undertaker match we get. I don't care
Ever?
how big of a ever.
What if Undertaker
I don't care
wins?
how big of a legend. Okay, then he leaves on a winning note. I don't care how big of a legend he is. If they're planning to do this Michael Undertaker match, do you think that tarnishes everything they did at WrestleMania? Those two matches at Mania? Two of the most iconic WrestleMania matches. Two of probably the best WrestleMania matches of all time. Do you think they're going to discredit those by having them go one more time with a guy that has more hip surgeries than years I've been alive? Do we really want that, honestly?
I don't know. Didn't we already have the end of an era match in the Hell in a Cell?
We've had 100 of end of blank matches for Taker, but they keep. I mean, what are they bringing him back for? What are they getting out of it?
I have no clue.
Clicks, pay-per-views, network subscriptions.
I get why they had him in Saudi Arabia because they wanted legends. I mean, they asked for Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna, rest in peace. So they brought the Undertaker. But Super Showdown, Australia, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. It's just like, he doesn't need to wrestle anymore. I doubt he's strapped for cash. It's not like he's asking for big paydays every time.
I'm sure he's well off.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue. They just think that everyone's going to want to see the Undertaker. Is Undertaker going to come out here at 60 and still try to wrestle?
I feel like if he wrestles this match, it's not going to be what we want it to be. It's going to be very slow, very tough to watch.
I mean,
very... It's like watching an injured horse try to finish the race.
Think about the two matches he had this year already. The Cena Mania match, which was, I don't even know if you can call that a actual match. The entrance was longer than the match itself.
Yeah.
And then the casket match with Rusev, he literally just hit his big moves on Rusev and rolled him in the casket, hit his big moves on Aiden English and put him in there as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't know.
He said he's feeling better than normal.
Brandon, are you legit? I'm not even gonna get started. Brandon Balbuna, you're an idiot. You are honestly an idiot if you're comparing those two people together. Honestly, you're not very bright, and you should seriously reconsider what you just said.
It's way different when Roman's in like his early 30s and Undertaker's in his late 50s.
The last good Undertaker match was probably with Punk. Or Brock in the Cell.
When, 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's continue on here, though.
So, going forward, we had Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defending the SmackDown Live tag team titles against the B team. This match was shorter than the Nikki Bella Ruby Riott match. Only by a minute or two, but still. They got less time for a tag title match and Nikki Bella and Ruby Riott. So early on, Ziggler's super kicked Curtis Axel as McIntyre held him upside down. McIntyre hit a reverse Alabama slam, but Bo Dallas broke up the pinfall. Axel made the hot tag to Dallas soon after that, and he ran wild on Ziggler. McIntyre broke up a small package, then headbutted Axel out of the ring. As the referee led McIntyre back to the apron, Ziggler raked Dallas's eyes. Ziggler tagged McIntyre, and they hit their Claymore zigzag and kept the tag titles. Immediately after the bell rang, they were attacked by Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. They fought him off, and I was kind of confused by this. And when they left initially, they were wearing, the beginning of the show, they were wearing their Shield gear.
Mm-hmm.
But then the way they were like, when Corbin just kicked them out, now they're wearing Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins shirts. So did they go back to the locker room to grab their gear first and change in the parking lot?
Mm-hmm. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. They probably just figured, hey, we just went to jail. They probably stripped them of all their stuff.
Well, no, they didn't go to jail. They weren't arrested because they left on their own accord.
Yeah,
they would have been arrested if they
didn't
didn't
sneak
leave.
back into the arena. I don't know.
So they then aired a very dramatic recap video of Undertaker versus Mick Foley from Hell in a Cell 20 years ago, including old interview clips from Jerry Lawler, Chris Jericho, Kofi Kingston, Jim Ross, Mark Henry, John Cena, DDP, Terry Funk, and Shawn Michaels. Great video package.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot. I mean, I like watching legends talk. I don't like watching them in the ring now. I love DDP though.
So go backstage, and Corbin is yelling at Rollins and Ambrose, and they're being so dumb. They were like, "No, we weren't here earlier. You didn't kick us out. You kicked out the Shield, but we're Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. We're not the Shield." I'm like, this better not lead like a split personality thing with the Shield, because I will freaking no. And they're
what do you
playing
mean split personality.
like when they wear the Shield gear, they're the Shield, but when they're not wearing the Shield gear, they're just two guys on the roster, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. That's what they were saying. They were like, you didn't kick out Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose earlier. Corbin, you kicked out the Shield. Think about it.
I wouldn't really like that either.
So they were talking with, and Corbin's just like, I should have you arrested. I told you guys if you came back and caused any more problems, you were going to be arrested. And then Dean kind of like waved to somebody, and he goes, meet the chief of police.
I like this spot a lot, though. It's cute.
And all of a sudden, he was just like, he's got a warrant, and he can arrest you. And I'm like, arrest Corbin for what? Doing his job? Trying to actually do his job? That you're making it hard for him to do? Like,
Again,
they made Corbin look like the babyface GM here. I mean, babyface acting general manager.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, so Corbin's like, oh, wait, no, can we talk in private, Seth? And so Dean and the cop, the chief of police, walk out, and Dean just starts talking about some stupid random stuff. And he's like, hey, if I ever get arrested again, can I call you and you just get me out of it? And the guy was like,
well, that's Dean's
sure.
character. That's Dean's
guess.
character. He's the wacky one. It's silly, but
he was just like, I wasn't speeding. Yeah, never mind. Maybe I was speeding. I don't know what the speed limit was. So, yeah, can you just tell me? Like, what? Random. And then finally, Rollins comes out of the office, and he's just like, we're all good. And they walked off. And he was like, we don't need you tonight, Chief.
Taking a look at the chat real quick. I like Noah Hall says, where was Sacco? It's probably on his foot, to be honest.
Oh, he just pants.
WWE is great at video packages. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They have always been good at video packages. Rod Chico says the cop's name was G. Ambrose. Little do you know, the G stands for Grandpa Ambrose. That was actually his grandfather. Let's continue on here.
So then, Kevin Owens comes out. Well, actually, hold on. So actually, Kevin Owens came out before the Ambrose and the whole thing with Corbin and the cop and everything. He actually came out before that. So about 8 minutes before this or so, Kevin Owens came out, walked down to the ring. They then immediately went to commercial. It was a 3.5-minute commercial. Then
Yes.
they do the segment with Dean, the cop, Rollins. That's another like 3 to 4 minute segment. And then finally you go back to the ring and it's like, so Kevin Owens has been chilling, watching all this on the screen.
Probably. I
Now-
wonder if he sat the way Raven did. Hold up. $5 from Chris McNutt. What's going on? 205 Live Stars just appeared on Raw now. First it was Drake Maverick, Drew Gulak, and now Lio Rush.
Well, technically,
They are
the
part of
205
brand.
Live roster is part of the Monday Night Raw roster, technically.
By all technicalities. I wonder if he sat Raven style.
Now, to his credit, I was at a SmackDown last year where Naomi was actually sitting in the ring for 10 minutes before she actually did anything. Like, she came down before a commercial, and then they like aired the commercial. Then they aired a backstage segment with Charlotte, and then they went into another commercial, and then Charlotte came out halfway through the commercial, and then Charlotte's entrance, like they came back live halfway during Charlotte's entrance, and then they got in the ring and did some tag team match. I don't remember what the match was, but yeah, she was in the ring for almost 10 minutes, just chilling, watching all these random clips and backstage stuff.
That was weird.
Yeah, because for all that don't realize, when a wrestler comes down to the ring for their entrance and they go to commercial, what the WWE does is all the lights go down in the building and they air a video package, like hyping up either if it's WrestleMania coming up or if WrestleMania just happened, it's a hype video for WrestleMania or whatever next pay-per-view they've got or something. And so that's what happens during a commercial on a live taping is they just air a random video package. And the wrestler just has to stand there, and I guess Naomi was chatting with the referee and Greg Hamilton the whole time.
I love Greg Hamilton.
So, Kevin Owens was in the rings, and Tyler Breeze came down. Tyler Breeze was doing his entrance, and Kevin Owens attacked him during his entrance. Breeze tried to fight back for a second, but Owens cut him off with a kick, powerbomb on the edge of the ring. Owens then grabbed a mic and said that, yeah, 2 weeks ago, he quit, and it felt good. But now, he's back. And he's allowed to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I like, well, he had basically said, I came back on one condition, that I can't be held accountable to what I do.
He said that
it's my opponents. And it gave it a little bit of a credibility. It gave it some continuity, and I like it.
But, I don't know, he said Corbin recognizes him as MVP of Raw. Owen said that he returned, like you said, under one condition. And he said he helped attack the Shield last night, not to help anybody out and do any favors, but because he's sick of the Shield. He said that he blamed everything wrong on Raw on Bobby Lashley because Bobby Lashley attacked his best friend and injured Sami Zayn.
And that's also given some great back detail
But
about
here's the
like a
thing.
reason for these two guys to feud.
If the Shield keeps getting in trouble for their actions, why can Kevin Owens just do whatever he wants and not get in trouble by
Because the
acting general
GM
man?
because the GM's a heel.
Came out as a babyface
He's a heel.
today when he backed down to Seth and Dean. He's like, I don't want to be arrested.
He had no choice.
Gave him.
That's not very baby. It's
I
cowardly
guess.
heel.
I guess. Joshua, I do not have Fortnite on my PS4. So he was just talking about, this is the beginning of Kevin Owens being basically the man on Monday Night Raw. He promised anarchy, agony, destruction, and a lot more to come.
Oh yeah, I'm
It's
excited.
a good
to see where they go
promo,
with this.
but it was a little wacky as far as like, I could do what I want.
I thought it was fine.
So then we
It's
got
cheap.
Bobby Roode and Chad Gable taking on the Ascension. Gable tagged himself in immediately. Bobby Roode was kind of like, what was that for? And he suplexed Victor all over the ring. Connor then cut him off with a boot, and the Ascension took over. Gable made the hot tag, and Bobby Roode ran wild briefly until Gable tagged himself back in. Gable then hit the Chaos Theory deadlift German suplex on Victor for the pinfall. Roode was happy to win yet again.
It's just
Quick 3-minute
baffling
match.
to me. It's just baffling to me
That
you have a guy with such talent as Chad Gable, with such raw, natural charisma and talent and a clear babyface direction, and the best you can find to do, this guy can put on great matches with anyone that you put in front of him. Joe, Styles, Almas, hell, he put on a good match with Corbin in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. and you're subjecting him to doing this kind of weird, almost non-meaningful stuff with Rude, just to have Rude turn on him later, have Gable get the crap end of the stick. The dude is such a good wrestler.
He would be a top megastar on the indies.
Yes, he would.
So after this, Ziggler ran into McIntyre and Strowman. They were talking about, he was talking about the Shield, then complained to Corbin. When Corbin walked in, Corbin said Louisiana operates under a, what did he say? Napoleonic code, which complicated matters, which I have no clue what that means. Using big words that most people probably didn't understand. So Corbin informed them that they would have a tag team title defense at this Sunday's Hell in a Cell against Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Again, IC title just to the wayside.
Yep, IC title means nothing.
Ziggler said he couldn't believe it. The Shield were being rewarded. Corbin said that he had his own reasons for doing this. He claimed that he wanted to put on the best show possible, and Stephanie told him that he needed to do good on his first pay-per-view. He also said that Stephanie wanted him to relay a message to Braun Strowman, where she wanted Strowman to take the title at Hell in a Cell. Strowman then said that he'd be pleased to do so, and now it's time to go big dog hunting. And if you've ever seen Braun Strowman on his Instagram or on his Monster Arms YouTube show, I wouldn't want to be hunted by this guy. This guy can hit a target dead on center at like 700 to 800 yards away with a gun.
Yeah, it's scary.
So I would not want to be hunted by him. So then we have Women's Champion Ronda Rousey and Natalya taking on the team of Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. It was supposed to be Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox, but earlier in the night, or actually earlier in the day on WWE.com, Alexa Bliss did let us know. She said, hey, yeah, I'm supposed to team with Alicia Fox, but I've upgraded because Alicia can't get things done against Ronda, so I'm going to team with Mickie instead. Match went 13 and a half minutes.
Way too long. Way too long. And look, Alexa's not a bad wrestler by any means, but her, quote, armbar did not help her case.
Yeah, no. Especially when you go on Instagram and they got this comparison image. Who did the better armbar?
Yeah.
What it is weird, though, when Ronda does the armbar, isn't it the arm supposed to be out straight?
I don't know.
But when Ronda does it, the arm's just bent. Like it's, I don't know.
I have no, believe it or not.
Maybe Ronda's afraid she's going to actually put in a real armbar, so she's got to modify it so she doesn't accidentally hurt them.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So a few minutes in, Bliss slapped Rousey, who was on the apron. Rousey chased after her. Then Natalya caught Bliss and Natalya caught Bliss, and together Rousey and Natalya hit a heart attack. Cool spot.
Yeah, it was a really cool spot. I liked it.
After a commercial break, Natalya eventually made the hot tag, but a distraction allowed Bliss to toss Rousey into the barricade and the side of the ring. The crowd chanted for Rousey as the heels worked over Natty. There was a moment where Rousey was just sort of staring at Mickie James like she was waiting for something to happen. Like, okay, what's next? Are you ready? Okay. And a little awkward, but that was followed up by James knocking Natalya off the apron. Kristen McNutt with a $5 Super Chat donation. Corbin called the police last week and tonight, but officers wasn't real and are actors, but why you call police on S.H.I.E.L.D.? They're the heels. He's a heel. He sides with the heels. That's all you got to know.
Yeah, he's just siding with the heels. Hey, how many times has Ronda defended her belt since winning it?
This will be her first defense at the pay-per-view.
Okay.
Well, she just won it at SummerSlam.
So, Jimmy, you're wrong. Ronda doesn't.
Well, she hasn't had a chance to actually, quote-unquote, defend her title. Because most title defenses come at the pay-per-view, and they haven't had a pay-per-view.
Why not defend him at a frickin' episode of Raw? Why not? Huh?
Because they're saving the big match for the pay-per-view. Gotta get them network subscriptions. Anyways. So Mickey hit Natty off the apron. Rousey made a comeback briefly after that, tossed around Mickey James before applying an armbar and getting the victory. As Rousey and Natalya were posing for their victory, Rousey was then kicked in the side by Bliss, and then Bliss bailed. Rousey, a stagehand, was then seen backstage giving Elias some tea. Elias spat in the guy's face, said, "This is not what I asked for," told the guy to get it right, and then suddenly you hear, "Roman! Where's Roman? Oh, Roman!" And he's Braun Strowman running around looking for Roman Reigns. He's like, "Where's Roman? Have you seen Roman?" He's yelling at all these guys. He picks this guy up by the throat, puts him up against the wall. He's like, "Have you seen Roman Reigns?" The guy's like, No, I haven't. I haven't seen Roman Reigns. I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen Roman Reigns." And he grabs the guy and throws him into a production box. Charlie Caruso is then interviewing Ronda Rousey. She's like, "How are your ribs? Are you going to be good to go for Hell in a Cell?" Like, Alexa just kicked her in the gut. She didn't break her rib. Rousey said that she was fine. And even if she wasn't, she wouldn't pull out of the fight. Because she never has.
Except that time she got, like, her ass rocked in a UFC fight, legitimately.
Well, no. She's never not gone into a fight she was scheduled for. She said even on her worst day, she was still the best. And then she stormed off. Yeah, even though on her worst day, she was beat by Holly Holm. Yeah. And Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
And then she went into hiding. Anyways. Elias was in the ring, taking shots at New Orleans, asking why he's even back here. He said, "You guys are probably all salty because the Saints lost last night." He then said, "I talked to Drew Brees. He said he's sick and tired of representing this trash of a town." As he starts to strum his guitar, the music of Mick Foley hits.
Da-da-da, da-da, da-da-da.
So
I love his theme.
Foley comes down. He said he was a fan of Elias. He said, but then said that he didn't have a sincere bone in his, that Elias doesn't have a sincere bone in his body and he needs to learn some things. Elias then said that he was a child once and he knew that people would find this hard to believe, but he recalled sitting inside the igloo in Pittsburgh when Undertaker tossed Foley off the cage. So apparently Elias was there alive as a child 20 years ago. That's really cool. Foley was here to say, "I'm not like these other legends that like to come and talk about the past. I want to talk about the future." And Elias was like, "Well, you're looking at the future right here in me." And Foley was talking about, when I had my broken arms and my tooth knocked up in my
literally had his tooth
knocked up in his nose.
So
that
badass.
He knew what was going on. There was a change. And that they were doing something that had never been seen before, him and The Undertaker. Foley then agreed, maybe Elias could be a future Universal Champion one day. But that's way in the future. And I'm talking about the near future, like this Sunday at Hell in a Cell. He said, "I live in Long Island, stone's throw away from Connecticut, where I can drive down to WWE headquarters. And I had a chat with Miss Stephanie McMahon." He said that it's been 20 years since his match with The Undertaker, and he couldn't just be at Hell in a Cell and just be there. He wanted to be involved somehow. Mm-hmm. He then said that Stephanie allowed him to be the guest referee for the Hell in a Cell match this Sunday with the Universal Championship on the line, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns. He then said that one last thing Stephanie told him before, leaving her office, that Corbin's got a lot on his plate, and so she would grant him the opportunity to make one match tonight on Raw. With that, he made the match of Elias versus Finn Balor.
I really would have liked, it's like, Finn and Baron Corbin facing off tonight, folks.
Match was rather quick when Balor did end up winning with a small package.
Yeah, there you go.
So then, they talked about how last week, when Kevin Owens attacked Bobby Lashley, he injured his ribs. But that's not going to stop Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was in the gym earlier training, and they said, "Here's some footage." So Lashley's working out. He's lifting some dumbbells, and he's reps upon reps. And all of a sudden, you hear some motivational voice.
No, you hear some loudmouth, overhyped rookie.
Oh, Lord.
It's Leo Rush.
So Leo Rush is like, he's like, Bobby Lashley, you got small weights, but big reps. Small weights, but big reps. Get it in. You got it. And he's like, Bobby Lashley stops. And he's like, my man, because everyone's Bobby Lashley's man. My man, Leo Rush. He was like,
apparently everyone's friends with Bobby. I'm probably friends with Bobby.
He slapped him on the shoulder. And he was like, I'm here to motivate you. He's like, well, motivate me then. And he starts lifting weights, and Leo Rush is there, and he's just like, get it in. You got it. Small weights, but big reps. Just keep it going. All right, Bobby, you've got it. And I'm like, if this happens every week, this is new Abraham Washington. You remember Abraham Washington?
Abraham Washington? No.
Oh, Lord. He was the guy
How long ago was that?
Oh, this was years ago.
Before, like, was I born?
Well, yeah, this was like when they were doing the NXT reality show type NXT. He was on that, and then...
Like the picture I sent you today?
Huh?
Like the picture I sent you today?
Yeah. Anyways.
The new NXT cast.
So, Abraham Washington was just a hype guy that they were trying to get over as, like, he couldn't really wrestle that well, but he was good on the mic, and they were going to give him, like, his own little talk show thing, and it didn't last long, and that's what it kind of reminded me, because he talked the same way, like, kind of hype-up kind of guy.
Fair enough.
So Charlie Caruso then tried to interview Braun Strowman, and he was just like, have you seen Roman Reigns? She goes, well, last I saw Roman, looked like he was leaving the building. But you know, if you go out to the ring and call for him, he may appear. It's like, what?
You gotta click your heels together 3 times.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
Oh, God.
Roman Reigns.
If you go into a bathroom and you stare in a mirror and you say Biggie Smalls 3 times, turn around, Roman Reigns will appear. Abraham Washington was on ECW.
So with that, whoa, train going by.
Fucking
Anyways,
hype train going on. Whoop.
Undertaker was then announced for being on next week's Monday Night Raw in Dallas, Texas.
That's pretty cool.
Strowman then came out to the ring, and he was like, I'm tired of waiting. I want Roman Reigns now. He called out Roman. Roman didn't appear. Then Roman's music hits.
This train's really angry right now.
I know.
This train doesn't want me to do my show.
So
You're good.
Roman's music hits, but he's nowhere to be seen at first. And then, all of a sudden, you hear Michael Cole. Roman Reigns has commandeered our announce table. And Strowman sees him up there, and he runs up there. So they brawl a little bit up by the announce table. And then finally, Roman Herculean powers up, Strowman up on his shoulders, and jumps off of the announce table with a Samoan drop through a big old, I guess you could say, production area deal where they set it up for them to crash through.
Mm-hmm.
And crowd kind of popped slightly at first, but then when Roman's the one to get to his feet, they just booed tremendously as Roman's on the stage, holding his ribs, holding up the Universal Championship as the show goes off the air. And this angle with Roman and Strowman, the crowd shitting all over it, just doesn't make many people excited. And then for some reason, you got to add Mick Foley just because.
Yeah.
That's how Raw ended.
It was a very lackluster episode of Raw. It was all over the place.
Oh, yeah. But
Brandon, why would you... I mean, if you really didn't like it, you probably could have told within the 3 hours of watching it that at like hour 1.5 or 2, I don't really like this. I'm not going to watch anymore.
when they were
You chose to watch it.
hyping SmackDown matches for Hell in a Cell, taking 2-3 minutes each time, yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Monday Night Raw recap for September 10th, 2018. You can follow me on Twitter at PWU_Armstrong. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited right here on YouTube. Check out our friends over at Fightful at Fightful.com or at Fightful Online. Tim, where can I find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TimmyBuddy. And we will be live yet again tomorrow night following SmackDown. We'll be live on Wednesday for the Wednesday Pro Wrestling Unlimited podcast. We'll be live at some point again this week with our predictions for Hell in a Cell. And we'll be live after Hell in a Cell.
Yep. Sounds good, folks. See you later.
Hold on one second.
What?
Brandon said 3 matches in 3 hours. There was more than 3 matches on tonight's SmackDown, or tonight's Raw.
He's just here to complain. I stopped reading his fucking
But
comments.
anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.
See you guys.